This is for lack of better terms with Andrew and myself, Jerry. Today, this would be, I guess, episode 3. We're going to go over our top 5, top 10 favorite albums. I guess we started at 5 and we went to 10. So, we'll just get into it. What's your number 10?
Iron Monkey self-title.
So, why is Iron Monkey self-titled?
Well, I've loved that album a long time. Actually, I love both of theirs. I didn't care for the last one that they dropped as much, but I don't know. It has a very similar sound to I Hate God, frankly, but it's really well done. I don't know. It just gets me hyped up, and I listen to it in the gym.
So my number 10 is Mastodon, Once More Around the Sun. The reason being is that was the album that kind of got me into the band. The first album, and I'm not sure what it's called. It's not Leviathan, but the one before it that has like
Remission?
Yes. I'm just not a fan of. So when I heard them,
Is that the one with the exploding horse?
pretty much. When I heard that song, the fire was it the March of the Fire Ants? I'm not a fan. It's not that it's not a bad song. Me personally, I'm not a fan.
That's my favorite Mastodon song.
Is it really?
True.
I just wasn't a fan, so I never really gave them a chance. I know that sounds horrible. Not till this album, and I met my wife. She was a pretty big Mastodon fan, so I've kind of went back and listened to all the albums, and all the albums just come out after and whatnot. So I'm a fan. That's my number 10. So what's your number 9?
Black Sabbath Volume 4.
That's a good one.
Been listening. Jerry and Amanda have got me into vinyl recently, and bless them. They gave me their old record player, and I listened to Volume 4 yesterday.
Nice. My number 9 is Monolord Empress Rising. I just love that album. It's not that I don't like the rest of their stuff. It's just that's my favorite one of theirs. So I wanted to throw a little Monolord on there. It's just one of my favorite bands. So
what is the last? Is it Rust? Was the last one?
Yeah, Rust.
That's probably the one I listened to the most.
And it's really good.
And that bit, I don't know where they're playing. It's like a live show of them, and they're just going fucking ape shit. The bass player is all over the place, man.
Is it the Lords of Suffering video?
It's an open air, like they're outside somewhere, and it's nighttime. That show is amazing. I watch that over and over.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. So what's your number 8?
Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream.
An excellent record.
That's probably. Well, they're sort of hard rock metal ish.
Well, they were like in the alternative grunge thing. So
okay. To me, they were the best of that era of alternative rock, I guess you'd say.
That era,
splashes of Alice in Chains, splashes of Soundgarden.
Yeah, that era
Pearl
has
Jam.
kind of what's led me to the musical path that I'm on now. Truthfully, because if you think of bands like Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, go even deeper into like your Tads and your more punk stuff of like Mudhoney and Nirvana and things of that nature. It's it just kind of goes through of what I kind of do now. Like that's like you wrap all that up and kind of what I listen to now, and that's my guitar style. So we're on number 8. Mine is Elder Lore. They have a new album out that's amazing also, but Lore is what got me into the band. So that's kind of my favorite one, especially the first song on it is just fantastic.
I don't think I've listened to that. I think I've just listened to that one with the, I don't know, it's kind of got a...
Like a white cover?
Yeah, white and green.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
I don't know if it's intended. It kind of mimics like older, like 1970s, this kind of, I hate to use the word generic, but kind of generic looking artwork from the 70s era of vinyl, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. So that's my number 7. No, that's my number 8. I'm sorry.
Glad I'm checking mine off here. Minor Threat. I think it's Salad Days. The one I bought was like not Salad Days. The one that's before that that's got like straight edge. It's got when I bought it on cassette, it had both of them on the same cassette. It had that one and like Salad Days.
Okay,
It's got
so it's
straight
probably
edge
self-titled.
on it. Guilty of Being White. I'm Seeing Red. That whatever that one is, but the Salad Days stuff, it sounded a little more commercial or poppy to me, and I didn't care for it as much. But yeah, whatever the first part of that is, it might be out of step.
Mine was the complete discography. It was this on CD.
Yeah.
I think I had like 2 copies of that. It's one was blue and one was red. So
yeah. I had the blue one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seems
like Helmet did that too, didn't they? They did Meantime.
I don't know. I've only seen the blue one.
Yeah, they did it into either the red copy or the blue copy.
I didn't know that. My number 7 is Corrosion of Conformity's Deliverance. So any of you guys COC fans, that's like a classic album.
That's got Albatross.
Yes. Yeah.
Or he's it seems like at the end of it, he's whistling Smoke on the Water as he's digging a hole.
Probably.
Presumably to get rid of a body.
Probably.
Yeah, I listen to that one on cassette a lot.
They have a song called 7 Days. It's on that album that I'm a really big fan of. So it's just kind of was my favorite one. So, all right, what's your number 6?
It probably should be higher up there, but it's just because I don't listen to Pantera that much anymore. But I mean, Vulgar Display of Power, God, through high school, and I mean, I just wore it out and played it over and over and over and over. I mean, it's in my DNA. I listen to that album so much, and other Pantera, but that one's, most people are either Far Beyond Driven or Cowboys from Hell. Like the old schoolers love Cowboys from Hell, and I guess the people that think of Pantera as a whole always do Far Beyond Driven, but Vulgar Display of Power has always been my fucking favorite. Again, I feel bad about it being as low as it is, but I just don't listen to Pantera as much anymore. I don't know why, but I just don't.
So, I think Vulgar Display has the best songs on it.
Okay.
I think Far Beyond Driven has recorded better. I think that kind of in the midst of Cowboys from Hell to Vulgar Display to Far Beyond Driven, they get better at recording their albums. So I think Vulgar Display has the better songs. I think Far Beyond has the better sound. And then like the last 2, I think were just pretty much the other 2 albums, but different songs. So that's right. And I probably just offended a lot of Pantera fans, but
no, I the Reinventing the Steel didn't pull me in. Oh, I did buy the 101 Proof.
I loved 101 Proof.
Yeah, it was that's one of the best sounding live recordings I've ever heard.
That's awesome. All right, my number 6 is Black Tusk, Set the Dial. I love Black Tusk. I don't think they've ever released a bad album, honestly. I think that they are, I don't know, just really good at what they do.
Or that they're out of Savannah as well?
Yeah, they're out of Savannah. I just bought the last one, or I got it for Christmas, and then I think it's called God's on Vacation. That's one of their songs.
That's a great title.
Yeah. Though I got the album that one's on. I got both those on vinyl. Anyway, I want to tell you. I have to really quickly tell you my Black Tusk story. So, I meet my wife. We're dating. We just moved in together or whatnot, and she listens to the kind of music that I did, but I wasn't at the time. I know that kind of sounds weird, but I really wasn't into music that much until I kind of started seeing her again, mainly just because I was just burnt out. And so I did an internet search on.
It seems like I remember you saying like vinyl.
Vinyl.
Where vinyl had kind of brought you back in.
So, but I wasn't buying a lot of metal and doom vinyl. I was just buying what I could find cheaply somewhere. Like the $3 bins or the used bins or stuff like that. I was just stuff that I'd listen to, just trying to find something that really pulled me in. Anyway, I did an internet search on like doom and metal and doom metal and sludge and just different kind of band genres, and chased like different bands, trying to go down different rabbit holes, and found Black Tusk. And I must say that I'm super happy that I did that. And I honestly, pretty much everything you guys come out with, I'll end up buying. So that's my story. What's number 5 for you?
Number 5. Check it off here. The Emperor. Anthems to the Welkin at Dusk. Now,
Nice.
Most people would probably disagree because it's a higher, because there's like black metal purists that say it needs to have that really, like it was recorded with like a Barbie tape, or a Smurf, or some kind of child's toy tape deck out in the middle of the fucking snowy woods. It has to have that raw, poor recording sound to be true black metal. But I don't know. Everybody was talking about black metal at the time, and I went to the store, and I was, it was actually in Gadsden. It was the first black metal. It was one of the bands that I had heard of, so I just to try black metal, I bought that one, and it's it's very well recorded. It sounds great. It's just musically the composition of the music is just amazing. I mean, it's to me, and now as a whole, Dark Throne is my favorite black metal band, but the Anthems of the Welcome to Dusk is my favorite black metal album of all time, and people are going to hate me for that.
I honestly can say that I've never listened to it, and that's sad for me to say, so I will. That will be my job at some point, probably while I'm cutting grass this week. My number 5 is Down to a Bustle in Your Hedgerow. I worked at a record store called CD Seller in Anniston, and I did a radio show called Hostile Rock on 92J in Jacksonville. And the album came out while I was doing both, and I don't know. It's just a perfect sounding album to me. There's not a bad song on it. I know
This
that
is terrible, but I'm pretty sure I bought it, and I may have listened to it like 3 or 4 times,
yeah, and I consider it to a place in time.
and I listened to NOLA a billion times.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was.
and NOLA is an excellent record. I'm that way with the third record. I'm not even real sure what it's called. The third record didn't ever pull me in, and I'm listening to the 2 EPs, what they consider the fourth record, because I think they were going to release 4 EPs as the fourth record, and they pull me in. But I don't know. To me, the second one, like I said, it's a place and a time. I saw them play at the 5 Points Music Hall. Hello, Quimby. Are you trying to get into the camera?
Quimby in the building.
But I saw them at the music hall, and it was just them. They had Black Sabbath live videos playing before, and then I saw them on Ozfest that year. So, what's your number 4?
Number 4. Well, I've got the shirt on. It's not the actual album, although I do love. This is probably the Atonement is my favorite album since this one, but Immolation's Here and After.
I've listened to Immolation, but I can't tell you what.
That album makes me want to fucking still to this day want to go out and kill people. And I saw Immolation a year or so ago with Mayhem and Black Anvil, and they didn't play anything. But I guess that's just how the business goes. You've got to, in death metal these days, you have to press whatever, or you have to push on stage whatever your new stuff is, and you unfortunately don't have time to play your older crowd pleasers. But Here and After just again makes me want to go out and kill people.
All right, my number 4 is Sleep the Sciences. I think it was like 24 years or 20 years or something from Jerusalem or Dope Smoker or whatever you want to call it to this album. They released it on 4/20 of last year, and they didn't even announce it.
Of course they did.
Yeah, they didn't even announce it. It's just one day there's a new Sleep album out. I listened to it probably 50 times. And then the day that it came out, I got my wife to buy it online so that we could have it, and I probably listened to it on vinyl another 40 times. I don't know why. It just, I love that one. I like all of Sleep's albums, but there are songs here and there that I'm like, eh. On the Sciences, there's not a bad song to me. So that's my number 4.
There are no bad songs.
What's your number 3, sir?
I Hate God, Take is Needed for Pain.
And that's another
Very, just, I don't know. It sounds like waking up in an abandoned truck, hungover and dope sick, sweaty, and I don't know. That album just captures just, I don't know, disgust. I guess beautifully is on. I don't know. There's something beautifully dirty about that album, and I listened to it a million times. Still listen to it very often.
My number 3 is probably something a little more popular than that. It's Foo Fighters, The Color and the Shape. That's pretty much my high school, as crazy as it sounds, was the Foo Fighters, because especially in like my senior year, I graduated in 1998. I want to say that album came out in 96 or 97. It's just, I don't know. There's not another album. There's not a bad song on it. I was a really big Nirvana fan. So to hear an album like The Color and Shape come out of, one of the members of that band, it blew me away. So I don't know. There's not a bad song on it. So
Tireless War Against Foo.
Right. So what's your number 2, sir?
Broken Glass, Crowbar.
That's a good one.
Something changed in his vocals on that album where he was just pushing his, just as much thrust into his vocals as he could. And it just sounds so driven and pissed off. The song Broken Glass. But and it also has my favorite Crowbar song of all time, is Wrath of Time Be Judgment. Oh my God, it just makes you it's so driven, it just makes you want to go out and kill people. And that's that simple.
My number 2 is Fugazi's 13 Songs. He mentioned Minor Threat before, and I love Minor Threat, but in high school, Fugazi was king for a long time. So 13 Songs was the first album I ever heard by him. It has, I don't know, it's another album that has no bad songs on it to me. It was actually 2 EPs that they made into one CD, and that's the reason they call it 13 Songs. I think it was the Margin Walker and the 6-song EP. Fugazi changed the entire idea of a band to me. That Minor Threat, Fugazi.
I mean, like it was more of a concept than it was a band?
No. So, at the time, to ramble a little bit, at the time, I thought of a band like Nirvana or Pearl Jam or Motley Crue or Guns N' Roses or Metallica. You become a band, you get signed, you make an album, you go on tour, you slowly build. Fugazi records, they put out their own albums, they book their own tours, they don't charge more than this. On the albums it says do not charge more than $10. $5 a show, or $6 I think is what I ended up paying when I went and saw them. Of things of that nature. So it just totally changed that you could do this all yourself and still be
not walk on the people that have gotten you there.
Yeah, and still be relevant. They're just an amazing band to me. So they changed my life, honestly, and how I thought of being in a band. And things of that nature. So we have made it to number 1, sir. What is your number 1?
Which is not this album, but Soylent Green's Stone Mouth Secrets. There's grindcore, there's death metal, there's black metal, there's blues, there's jazz, everything. There's so much going on in that album, and the music is so complicated. I think the String of Lies was the first. It was that EP that they put out was the first thing I heard by them, and my jaw fucking dropped. I just could not believe that a band could play that shit. And then I got Son Mouse Secrets and bought it from Larry May, and it just literally just totally. And particularly with his vocals, he mixes death metal, black metal, and hardcore kind of thing, and that's always what I wanted to do. And I was like, damn, this is the first time I heard somebody fucking do it, and it's just it's amazing. And so the musicianship is off the charts. Danny Buckley is, I think, one of the most criminally underrated drummers in the history
I can agree with
of
that.
music, and he plays for Crowbar now. But without his backbeat there, that band would be nothing. And just
Who's the
amazing.
vocalist for that band?
Benjamin Fallgaust the second.
And see, I think he's probably one of the most underrated vocalists too. Like,
and that's kind of sad too. Goatwhore is awesome. Goatwhore is fucking amazing, but it has kind of. And you got to go where the money is. I mean, you got to go where people want you. But it has kind of pulled away from Goatwhore. Has really kind of pulled away from Soylent Green, and then I guess Danny Buck, him going off with Crowbar and stuff like that, or other, members of I Hate God and stuff like that, has really kind of pulled Soylent Green apart, and that's kind of sad. But it's that. What's that line from High Fidelity? Is it better to burn out or just fade away, or
yeah,
is it better to go out on top or to go out sucking? So maybe in that way, I guess maybe they lucked out, and maybe I don't know. Hell no, who knows? Maybe the Soylent Green will do another record. I don't know, but I don't know about that.
My number one is Nirvana, Nevermind. It just really, as being a kid that was like super into music already, the finding Nirvana and Fugazi, and then punk, and then the different forms of metal that I've kind of listened to, in that time period and whatnot. It just was life changing. It was life changing that something so simple was so good, if that makes sense. Not taking anything away from the albums, but
he wrote some catchy fucking riffs. You can never take that away from him.
Yeah, the songs are simple. They're easy. They're, as most people say, they're easy to play. And yet, here we are in 2019, still talking about an album that came out in '91. And I know that there are plenty of albums out in the world that you could talk about from the 50s, 40s, 60s, all that. This is what changed my life. So, between them and Fugazi, that's what really turned it around for me, because in this also, I saw all these just monstrous bands that were playing these monstrous songs that sounded, huge. And then Nirvana come out with three guys, and it sounds as huge as any of those, but I could play it at 14 years old. And, where I couldn't play whatever Slash was doing at 14, I wasn't there yet. But anyway, this is it for us today. We wanted to talk about some albums that we loved and things of that nature.
Definitely might change in the future. That's I guess the beauty of music.
Mine would change if we did this same video 10 minutes from now. I would probably change it, but this is what it is right now. I'm sure that we will do more top 10, top 5 albums in different subgenres and things of that, because we have a lot of music that we both really, really, really like. And he might challenge me, because, Emperor I've never listened to, and I might challenge him to listen to whole genres that he hadn't listened to that I just love, give or take. But anyway, we're going to call this one a day, I guess.
Okay, please unlike. Hell, we'll even take unlikes. Subscribe. Leave a comment. Visit us on all streaming platforms.
Yeah, we're on the
music.
The EP's on all streaming platforms. We're working on
the band and the podcast is now available on
Bandcamp. It will be available on Facebook, the videos, and the on YouTube. Also, we're going to put the videos up on our YouTube page. Also, it's a work in progress. This is episode 3. If you listen to start at episode 40, we'll probably be better. But right now, we're learning the issue here. But also, we're working on. We got our new album finished, and we're working on releasing that as we speak too. So keep an eye out for that.
Okay. Good night.
Pete.
Good night.